future is approaching fast. Don't blink. Welcome to the Auto Brief News, broadcasting live from our studio in Switzerland. I'm Amber Light, your resident telemetry architect, digital strategist, and absolute champion of the elegant solution.
And I'm Jim Khana. Keep the shiny side up, mate. I am the resident analog purist, a man who still believes that if you cannot physically feel the road through the steering wheel, you are merely a passenger in your own life.
It is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. This is the studio, our dedicated midweek space to unpack the engineering, the software architecture, and the broader industry philosophy of the latest automotive releases. Today, we are analyzing a vehicle from Wolfsburg. It is the all-new, fully electric Volkswagen ID.CROSS.
I read your blog post this morning, Amber. The Wolfsburg theorem, decrypting the ID.CROSS. You were waxing lyrical about the democratization of the era of intelligent speed. You called it a standardized unit of highly optimized mobility. It sounds like you are reviewing a kitchen appliance, not a motor car.
I am reviewing a systemic triumph, Jim. But before we get the ID.CROSS on the lift and dissect the MEB Plus platform, let's calibrate the broadcast and hear from the partners who keep our studio running.
This transmission is brought to you by our partners at mynotespace.com. In an era where your telemetry is stored in a cloud server you can't see, touch, or trust, you need a physical backup. If it isn't written down, it's just a rumor. Keep your data analog at mynotespace.com.
All right, let's decode the blueprints of the ID.CROSS. To understand why this vehicle is causing such a massive disruption in the European market, we have to start with the single most important data point in the entire press release: the entry-level price.
I'll admit, when I saw the number, I had to clean my reading glasses.
27,995 euros. Let that sink in. For just under 28,000 euros, Volkswagen is delivering a fully electric, compact SUV built on the new MEB Plus platform. For the last 5 years, we have been endlessly complaining that the electric transition was locking at the average consumer. We've reviewed 150,000 euro Hyper GTs and 90,000 euro luxury SUVs. The ID.CROSS brings high voltage architecture, advanced UI, and genuine practicality down to an accessible price point.
It is cheap, I will grant you that. For 28 grand, you are getting a lot of sheet metal. Or, I should say, a lot of plastic and lithium. But let's not pretend it's a charity project, Amber. The base Trend model at that price gives you the 37 kilowatt-hour battery and an 85 kilowatt motor. That's 116 horsepower. My riding lawnmower has more aggressive overtaking capabilities.
It is an urban mobility solution, Jim. And if you require more telemetry, you can spec up to the 155 kilowatt motor, which is 211 horsepower, paired with the larger 52 kilowatt-hour net battery. That variant yields a WLTP range of up to 427 kilometers.
Which is perfectly adequate, I suppose.
It's more than adequate, especially when you factor in the DC fast charging curve. With the 52 kilowatt-hour battery, it can accept up to 105 kilowatts of DC power. The sprint from 10% to 80% state of charge happens in approximately 23 minutes. In the time it takes you to order a coffee and argue with the barista about the proper grind size, the ID.CROSS has replenished hundreds of kilometers of range.
I don't argue with baristas. I just like my espresso properly extracted. But fine, 23 minutes is a respectable pit stop. Let's talk about the design. You mentioned in your blog that you loved the flying roof and the C-pillar.
Volkswagen calls the design language pure positive. It is a high contrast exercise in visual stability. It has a drag coefficient of 0.28, which is brilliant for a compact SUV. It is 4,153 millimeters long, so it is highly maneuverable in a city. Yet, because of the MEB Plus skateboard chassis, the interior packaging is phenomenal. You get a 475-liter boot, which is 20 liters more than the combustion engine T-Cross, and they managed to engineer a 25-liter frunk under the bonnet for your charging cables.
Packaging efficiency. It's the one thing electric platforms genuinely do better than combustion cars. I will give them points for the frunk. But Amber, we need to talk about the interior, specifically the digital cluster. Because when I sat in the pre-production model at the press event, I experienced the most conflicting set of emotions I have ever felt in an automobile.
I was waiting for this. The retro display.
S. You hit a button on the steering wheel, and the 10.25-inch digital Cockpit Pro completely changes its layout. Suddenly, you are no longer looking at sterile, futuristic fonts. You are looking at the exact, beautifully analog typography and dial layout of a Mk1 Volkswagen Golf from the 1970s. You have the classic speedometer on the left and a matching dial on the right. It is a stunning piece of user interface design. For one brief, shining moment, looking at that font, I felt like I was back in 1978, about to carve up a canyon road in a lightweight, screaming Golf GTI.
It is a brilliant retro digital bridge. They even integrated the modern dynamic road sign display into the 1980s inspired layout. The dial on the right acts as a power meter for the electric drive instead of a tachometer. It proves you can honor heritage without sacrificing digital capability.
It looks incredible, but Amber, it is a lie. It is a cruel digital trick.
How is it a trick?
Because of the steering. I am looking at the dials of a Mk1 Golf. My brain is being flooded with nostalgia. My nervous system is preparing for the heavy, chattering, unassisted, beautifully communicative mechanical steering rack of a classic Golf. And then, I turn the steering wheel.
And
I feel absolutely nothing. I am holding a numb, over-boosted, synthetic electric power steering wheel. The disconnect between what my eyes are seeing on that retro display and what my hands are physically feeling through the chassis is infuriating. It's like watching a high-definition video of a roaring fire while sitting in a walk-in freezer. It feels like steering a video game, Amber. The car refuses to communicate with my spine.
You are demanding mechanical feedback from a vehicle designed to insulate the driver from the chaos of the road. The ID.CROSS isn't a track weapon. It is designed to reduce cognitive load. If you opt for the 155 kilowatt variant, you get the newly developed adaptive DCC suspension, which continuously adjusts the damping to the road surface. It provides superior ride comfort.
Ride comfort is a corporate synonym for numbness.
It is refinement. And speaking of reducing cognitive load, we have to talk about the autonomous oversight. The ID.CROSS introduces the next generation of connected travel assist. Because the system utilizes swarm data and online connectivity, it now features automatic traffic light detection.
Oh, here we go. The digital nanny takes the wheel.
It is a massive leap in safety for this price bracket, Jim. If the system detects a red traffic light and the driver fails to react, the car can automatically brake itself to a complete standstill within the system's limits. It is an incredible safety net for the unoptimized driver.
Amber, if a driver is so unoptimized that they cannot physically see a glowing red traffic light at an intersection, they do not need a software update. They need to surrender their driving license and take the bus. We are building cars that encourage people to stop paying attention. If the car stops for red lights, people are just going to stare at that 12.9-inch tablet in the center of the dash instead of looking out the windscreen.
You are actively arguing against a system designed to prevent intersection collisions. It operates in the background. It is a safeguard. You can still drive the car manually, but in stop-and-go traffic, combining connected travel assist with the new one-pedal driving mode, which rapidly decelerates the SUV using just the motor regeneration, makes urban commuting effortless. Add in the optional pneumatic massage seats.
Massage seats in a compact Volkswagen. What a world.
It is luxury class comfort in a compact format, and the vehicle is highly versatile. It features vehicle-to-load capability as standard. The car can output up to 3.6 kilowatts of AC power. You can literally plug in an e-bike, a laptop, or even an espresso machine while you are camping.
I will admit V2L is a genuinely brilliant feature. Being able to run power tools or camping equipment off your car battery without needing a noisy petrol generator is a massive advantage of the electric platform. I'll give Wolfsburg a nod for including that as standard. But no amount of external power sockets can make up for that numb steering rack.
Before Jim starts a petition to ban power steering, let's ping the telemetry to our audience and fire up the community poll.
Let's see what scenario the helmet mascot is subjected to this week.
Every week on our Instagram, represented by our helmet mascot, we pose a highly specific scenario. This week, you are driving the new Volkswagen ID.CROSS. painted in nori green metallic. You are cruising through the winding roads of the Black Forest in Germany. You have activated the retro display mode, so the digital cluster looks exactly like a 1976 Golf GTI. The pneumatic seats are massaging your back, and the adaptive DCC suspension is gliding over the tarmac. What 1970s cassette tape is playing through the 10-speaker Harman Kardon sound system?
If I am driving through the Black Forest, staring at the speedometer of a Mk1 Golf, I need a soundtrack that makes me forget that the steering wheel feels like a PlayStation controller. I need something driving, heavy, and distinctly German. I am putting in Scorpions, Love Drive. The raw analog guitar riffs and the relentless tempo are the perfect antidote to the silent, sterilized electric powertrain. It injects the missing mechanical aggression right back into the cabin.
A very combative choice, Jim, attempting to manually override the car's serenity. I, however, embrace the systemic optimization. The ID.CROSS is a triumph of digital architecture and accessible future-proofing. It is a machine of pure logic. Therefore, I am selecting Neu, specifically the album Neu 75. The motoric beat, the relentless, precise, forward-moving rhythm. It is the exact sonic equivalent of a highly efficient electric motor covering ground with zero wasted energy. It is crisp, confident, and utterly modern, despite being from the 70s. Let us know what you are listening to in the comments of the Instagram post.
Neu. You picked a band whose name literally translates to new. You have all the subtlety of a brick, Amber.
I prefer to call it thematic consistency. All right, the data has been processed. It is time to face the judges. The garage rating. Green light, amber light, or red light? Jim, you've been conflicted all episode. Let's have your verdict on the Volkswagen ID.CROSS.
I despise the electric steering rack. The total lack of mechanical feedback is a tragedy. And the idea of a car braking for red lights automatically makes me worry for the future of driver awareness. However, €27,995. I cannot ignore the sheer pragmatism of that price point. They have built a practical, spacious, well-designed car that normal working people can actually afford to buy. And that retro display mode is the coolest piece of UI I have seen in years, even if it is a trick. For the democratization of the platform and the styling alone, I will begrudgingly give it an amber light.
An amber light from the analog soul for an electric crossover. The system is officially recognizing your pragmatism. For me, my verdict is incredibly straightforward. The ID.CROSS is the people's car recoded for 2026. Bringing MEB plus efficiency, 23-minute fast charging, V2L capabilities, and advanced ADAS safety nets to the sub-€30,000 market is a monumental achievement. It is the exact definition of intelligent progress. It is a confident, glowing green light from me.
I'm just glad they gave us the Mk1 Golf dials. It's the only thing keeping me sane.
That wraps up this episode of The Studio. You can read my full blog post, The Wolfsburg Theorem, and explore the full telemetry of the Volkswagen ID.CROSS in our garage archive at theautobrief.news.
And be sure to sign up for our Friday newsletter, The Telegram. I'll be writing a detailed historical essay on why steering feel is the most important safety feature ever invented, typed exclusively on a machine that requires physical force.
I look forward to scanning the pages. I'm Amber Light. The future is approaching fast. Don't blink.
And I'm Jim Khana. Keep the shiny side